seconds left. Cleveland triggers in. James, 2 seconds, 1 second for the win.
Wait, you can't start right there. We gotta take it back a minute. So I wanted to do a recap of the series, and luckily it wasn't LeBron's last game here in Cleveland. I thought I would just kind of bring my perspective to what I was able to witness. I was lucky enough to go to games 1 and 2 as well as 5 and 7. We got to see things in person, which is a little bit different perspective than just watching it on TV, but just kind of my observations. I really like to make this channel a little bit more about sports, just kind of finding the niche that I need to bring, and I think I can have my dynamics that I spoke about before with my wife and other things and vlogs, and stick to what you're good at is what people keep telling me, and I think I'm semi-decent and at least watchable when it comes to things like this. I thought I would just kind of recap the series from my eyes and from the conversations that I've had with people, and luckily we are on to play Toronto, the team up north. So game 1, obviously we came out and we got our butts kicked. So we lost 98-80, and it was just one of those things where from the get-go they were much more physical than we were. I thought rebounding was key throughout the entire series, and we definitely lost that battle, not only in game 1, but through all the games. We'll talk about Tristan's performance in game 7 a little bit later here, but overall I just thought that the rebounding was pretty atrocious. Some other little things that I had were the starters, such as Kevin Love only had 5 points, and then Jeff Green had 0 points. Can't have that as starters. Your minutes have to be very meaningful. So coming off the bench is even more crucial, but as a starter, when you're getting a majority of the minutes, we can't have that lack of performance. And then the one-man wrecking crew that was Victor Oladipo, of course, he just had a ridiculous night, and they took game 1. But we bounced back. A couple days later, we played game 1 on Sunday. We played the next game on Wednesday, and we came out with a victory. It was 100-97. Let's say we escaped with a victory, as Oladipo almost hit a game-tying 3 with about 30 seconds to go. But besides the amazing LeBron that was just outstanding this entire series, he had 40 points for the first time in this series. He had 46. But there was more team dynamic in this one, with Kevin Love and Kyle Korver contributing, hitting some clutch shots down the road. It really helped us even the series, but still there were the long runs. LeBron just came out on fire to start that game, and then we let them right back in the game. Something that happened on every game and was a pattern no matter what, was getting up and then losing that deficit. So something we definitely need to work on going into the series against Toronto. But game 2, even the series at home, you never want to lose at home, but at least we split and we didn't go 0-2 back to their place. Game 3 in Indiana was a loss by 2, but it was a tale of 2 halves. The first half was ball movement, team defense, suffocating defense, which caused turnovers, as well as us to get out and change the pace and really run against this team that Indiana's not built to run. They're built more to shoot. We were on fire. The team scored collectively as a group. It wasn't all on LeBron's shoulders. And then we came out in the third quarter and we just laid an egg, and we let them have a 17-point deficit erased by the beginning of the fourth quarter, and then they just kept eating away with us with bad fouls, with us having turnovers. Clarkson, for a perfect example, came in the second quarter and was great. I think he had 10 points in the quarter, and then in the second half I don't think he had a single point, and he was just forcing the ball, and just you could tell inexperience was getting to him. And it came down to a JR heave from almost half court that didn't go, and we lost by 2. And it was just something that we saw this series kind of taking a turn where they thought they had more momentum on their side than they truly did. They take a 2-1 lead. Game 4 at their place, it was the same old, same old. We would get up with the lead, they'd come back. They'd go on a run, we wouldn't respond. Luckily, we were able just to hang in there. LeBron had another amazing game at their place. Like I said, we did win 104-100, but the saver for us going down 3-run and coming back for Game 5 was Kyle Korver. Very, very quiet in the first half, missed a ton of shots, but then in the second half was crucial, was critical for us surviving off any runs that they had, and for us to take a lead and maintain a lead. So we were able to escape Indiana to come back for Game 5, 2-2. Game 5, as you just saw with my opening, right up there. Unbelievable game to be at. It was a win, 98-95. It was my Jordan over Elo moment. I wasn't alive long enough really to enjoy Jordan. I didn't understand how masterful he was with his craft. So the only comparisons I have are Kobe and LeBron. Being Cavaliers fan, being on the East Coast, being LeBron from my home state, I'm a LeBron fan. When he left us, it was devastating. We're not going to talk about that right now because he's back. We have a banner hanging in the rafters because of him. So to see him take that shot, similar to what he did against Orlando in the playoffs a couple years ago, similar to what he did against the Timberwolves earlier this year, it was just a masterful performance by himself, just capped off with a great shot. One that I'll never forget, with the being in the audience, having the seats that I did, was just great to watch it go in and just be a part of the reaction. I didn't get to see LeBron run around the court as much as I did a little bit later, but it was just a tremendous feeling to be there, see him hit that, and for us to go up 3-2 on to Game 6, which head back to Indiana. So then there was Game 6. Luckily the Indians also played and the draft was on because it was atrocious. Played a great first quarter, I thought, came out with energy, and then it became the 1-on-5 where LeBron had to try to do everything on his own because the team just didn't show up. There was no defensive energy, there was no ball movement, everyone was just very stagnant standing around. It was terrible. So I'll be honest, I watched it with kind of a side eye like this, as my focus was on the draft and the Indian. Just appalling, and made me very, very nervous for what was going to be on Sunday for Game 7, just because you could see how demoralized LeBron was, and just you had that feeling he might be done if this team doesn't come out and win on Sunday. So luckily, the sun came out, the fans came out, and in Game 7 we did hang on to win. Had 45 points. The MVP of the team, besides LeBron, of course, had to be Tristan Thompson. Got a start, which, trying to change up the lineup, I thought he'd get meaningful minutes due to what I said before about rebounding, but I didn't think he'd get a start. However, he came out with 15 points, 11 rebounds, 7 of which were in the first quarter, many of which were the offensive side, which is something I alluded to in the very beginning. Just rebounds in general was something that we did not take care of. It needed to be one and dones on their end, and needed to be second chance points on our end. We needed to be the most active for the 50-50 balls. We are not playing as a team. They were playing with a team with nothing to lose, and everyone make the play active, where we were, what awesomeness is LeBron going to bring, and who can be just someone there complimentary. Love had a good fourth quarter, kicking in some points. JR with lockdown defense and a few points. George Hill coming off the bench, even though he's been hurt with this back injury. Hit some great free throws, took control of the defense and the offensive side of the ball. I thought he did a nice job, and I really hope that we could see more of that in the playoffs. He played well in Game 3. I did not allude to that. It was just something that we hadn't seen since his trade. We've been looking for that spark, and he was phenomenal in Game 3, but then he got hurt. So overall, it's simple. Survive and advance. It shouldn't be that way in the first series, but sometimes it has to be. I believe Boston went to Game 7. I think Toronto went to Game 7. Boston, I believe, went to Game 6. But still, this is going to be a tough series in Toronto. I think we match up better with them. This is more of just, they're not as height focused as we are, or as Indiana was, excuse me. So I think it's just going to be interesting lineup adjustments that Lou has to make for us to be successful. So overall, need to be much more physical in this series, much more team oriented. The ball movement yesterday at times was outstanding, and we scored off of it. And then we were just so stagnant with no direction from Lou, no direction from LeBron. It was just dribble the ball, try to dribble the air out of the ball. You can't do that. Now LeBron was on yesterday hitting some amazing shots because he's a LeBron, but he looks exhausted. We only have 4 wins. We have 12 more to go to bring another one of these. Okay, so there you have it. I'm very, very excited for Tuesday. I will be down in Cleveland for this series as well, so if you're down there, come see me. But go Cavs. Let's beat the team up north and just survive in advance. We'll catch you on the next one.
Go!